It is the final day of competition at the 2023 Arnold Strongman Classic here in Columbus, Ohio, the capital of the strength world over the next couple of days. And champions will be crowned this evening. Thank you so much for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Lawrence Chalet, Jerry Pritchett as well, and we have Kiki Dixon out there on the competition floor, and we'll be talking to her in just a second. On the men's side, coming in, one of the big stories was Mateusz Kieloszkowski. Have not seen him in competition for a while. Right now he's in third place, but this is a damage control event for him.
Absolutely. I mean, he started the competition perfectly. The log didn't go as well as maybe he would expect, and this is the one event he's going to be most worried about. So he really needs to dig deep and just do, pick off a few points. That would be good for him with two good events to finish off the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about damage control. Like Law said, if he can get ahead of a couple other athletes, so he doesn't take dead last, will help him because he potentially can win the last two events.
Here are your overall standings coming into the day. Kieloszkowski currently sits in third with 14.5 points. It's Trey Mitchell and Mitchell Hooper right now fighting for the top spot in the overall standings. And for more on that battle, here's Kiki Dixon.
The big question is, which Mitchell wants it more? Trey Mitchell is going to have to be looking over his shoulder because Hooper is looking to finish this event in second. His strategy, I asked him, he said, well, it's to buddy up real close to Trey Mitchell.
Thank you, Kiki. That will be a fun battle to watch here. In the Elephant Bar Deadlift, each athlete will have 3 attempts to establish a 1-rep max, and this is a Rogue Record Breakers event. $5,000 on the line to anybody who breaks the current record of 1,046 pounds, and the weight on the bar can only go up. Keys to this event are presented by Beyond the Whiteboard. Laz, what are you looking for?
Yeah. We've said before, this is just the purest test of strength. Lift the heaviest weight from A to B. They need to bend down and stand up with the weight. It's all about leg and back strength. And this is a real bragging event as well for these guys. Whoever lifts the most on this one loves to walk away, regardless of the rest of the competition.
10 men are in this competition, the 2023 Arnold Strongman Classic, and Mitchell Hooper in the middle of your screen, second place overall, and Mateusz Kieloszkowski on the right side. Good to see him back in competition, but as we mentioned, this will be a damage control event for him. Trey Mitchell, left side of your screen, your overall leader coming into the day. The last time we got to see him compete on a big stage, he was at the Rogue Invitational, finishing second. We will see if he will be able to hold on to that top spot in the standings after this event. And Mateusz Kieloszkowski is going to be the first man out. His starting weight, 776 pounds. And we were talking before we came on here, this is a known weakness for him. And I think a lot of people might be thinking, why is he not better at this point?
Yeah, it's always been a question because he's such a great stone lifter. Like Loss, we were talking, he's great at frame, a heavy frame, picking frame up. He's got good grip. I think it's just an event he doesn't like. He doesn't like to train it. He just hasn't maybe found a setup that suits him the best, because he's strong enough. He should be a good event for him. He's got good leverages.
The other issue he's got right now is he's coming back from a torn lat as well, which it is mentally hard more than anything. Physically, his body is recovered, but mentally those scars are still there. And, talking to him backstage, he's genuinely worried about it. And when you've got those thoughts in your head, you don't commit and, really attack the bar as, say, you would previous to the injuries.
Yeah, he's really got to get back to trusting his body, and because you can't have that in the back of your mind. You got to trust your body so you can just go.
776 pounds, 352 kilos for the Polish Terminator, and that looks good. Very good. Great start for him.
My first thought watching that was pretty comfortable.
That was good. Yeah.
He's clearly capable of more than maybe he thinks right now.
Yeah. He set into it. He got nice, no hiccups.
There was no area where the bar slowed down at all. Really strong through the lockout. It was a good lift.
And that might have been what he needed to kind of get his head right, get his confidence, and now he can go after two more good pulls.
Jerry, you're exactly like myself. You've had a number of injuries in the past, and I know for myself, in the gym, I have to hold back. But
Yeah.
it's when you get to competition, you've got to think, all right, I'm not going to think about those injuries.
Yeah.
They've happened, that's the past. Now I need to commit. Maybe we're seeing that there. He's,
Yeah.
you know, I've spoken to his training partner, spoken to him. He's not even lifted that heavy in the gym.
Yeah.
But that looks strong.
Look great. Yeah, there's really two parts of healing. Letting the injury heal, your body heal, and then getting your mind right. So you can put it out of your mind to learn to trust your body again.
The Elephant Bar is different than the standard barbell that many people use in the gym. It is 9.5 feet long, and it took 2 months to design and manufacture. And as we've talked about, the main thing is you'll see as we progress through this event is a whip on it as it bounces up and down as you progress through the lift.
And now is when we're really going to start to see it with the men. You know, as the number goes up, this thing has different, you know, series of that whip. You'll see it react different, you know, like how it just did at the 760. When we get into 800s, the low 9s, and once we get up in the upper 9s over 1,000, that bar comes alive. It not only shakes up and down, but it also shakes side to side. When I pulled a 1031 on this bar, is the only deadlift I walked away from. My calves were sore. I'm keeping myself upright because it's shaking so bad it almost kind of orbits. So it's trying to pull you forward, so you're constantly firing to keep everything upright.
Every single muscle fiber in their body is kind of working to stabilize that weight.
Kevin Ferris will be the next man out. He's going to open at 801 pounds. That's 363 kilos.
Kevin's a strong deadlifter. I think this is a comfortable opener for him.
You know, 801 pounds would have won deadlifts 15 years ago in strongman. Now they're just openers.
Yeah, it's crazy how much he's went up. I mean,
And not even openers for some of the stronger guys.
no. Yeah, over 800 pounds was an elite deadlift years ago. And not that long ago.
First attempt of 3 for Kevin Ferris at 801.
Kevin had, you know, somewhat of a bad event, you know, on log compared to the other guys yesterday. This is one of the events he can make up some points, and then especially the frame carry later. He's got an exceptional grip, probably the best grip here.
His grip strength is phenomenal.
I mean, you've seen the way he carried the Denny Stones last year.
And that is good for Kevin Ferris.
A little slower than I would normally expect from Kevin.
He's going to be feeling it, you know,
But-
like we said, two events down.
Yeah.
That wheel of pain takes it out of the leg strength. And Kevin was a last-minute call-up as well, so hasn't
Yeah.
had the prep that maybe some of the other athletes have.
Yeah, he said, you know, he wasn't training to peak for this. He's been training for World's Strongest Man that's still, you know, a month and a half out. So I think that one, if he just keep his hips down a little better, because his hips rose, that puts a little extra strain on the hamstrings. You can see him when he backed up, he kind of kicked that leg up.
I've been in that position before, though, where fresh in the gym, it's easy.
Yeah.
But deep into a competition where those quads are
Everything's hurting.
taken out, the hamstrings are burning, the glutes aren't firing,
Exactly.
suddenly that lower back's in pain. That technique falters a little bit.
Yeah, it starts falling.
The Stoltman brothers will be the next two out. Tom Stoltman is going to go first at 801, and then Luke is going to come out and attempt the same weight. So 363 kilos
Some
remains
two
on the
laws
bar.
being warmed up, you know, still being stiff, not be able to get your hips down in position as well.
So last time we saw Tom on the Elephant Bar, he was second at the Rogue Invitational 2021.
And you watch when that bar first popped off the floor, it popped out away from him.
Yes.
So he had to kind of sit back and let it fall back towards his shins before he could start pulling. That's one thing you got to watch with this bar, with that whip. Like I said, it gets the misconception that it's an easier pull. It's not an easier pull. You see how it kind of popped out just for a second? It was light enough where he could still overcompensate from it. Yeah, see where it
See
kind of
there.
popped away from the shins?
Wow.
Heavier weight, you can't manage that because your hips shoot out and you're not going to pull a stiff leg.
You can see there really clearly.
Yep.
Rather than that bar traveling up in a straight line, it kind of pops out in front of him. That puts more stress on the lower back. It forces the hips to shoot up.
Yep. I would say his shoulders were probably a little over the bar, didn't help, because that bar is going to follow the path of your shoulders.
Here comes Luke Stoltman, who comes in 9th place overall.
So Luke was absolutely devastated after the log yesterday. You know, everyone knows how good Luke is. We don't need to explain that to people. He's one of the greatest log lifters we've ever seen. And when an event like that doesn't go to plan, it's always disappointing. But it's a new day. He needs to forget about yesterday, focus on getting points on this event. Deadlift's one of those events that he's been steadily improving over the years. Let's see how the opener looks.
8:01 for Luke Stoltman is no problem.
Good.
Looks strong.
Strong.
And I give Luke a lot of credit, despite the fact that we know he was disappointed from that performance yesterday. He spent a lot of time here after things had shut down, talking with the fans, taking pictures.
He's always great about that. He's one of the guys that he'll stay until the last fans here, taking pictures, and he knows that's a big part of our sport is having the fan base that we have.
Luke's always a great character and just a good person to be around. And he comes from that generation of, where we were competing in front of nobody. So he appreciates all the fans here supporting him. He's been able to give up working. He focuses on strongman full time now. And without the fans, that just doesn't happen.
No.
So, we have to be thankful for them. And both Stoltmans know that.
Yeah.
Tom Evans is going to be out next, and Evans comes in 8th place overall, and he had a big lift yesterday on the Austrian Oak, able to get 1 rep on that heavy log. It was able to get him into 5th place in that event.
I've been super impressed with Tom Evans.
Here is that lift.
It's so hard and daunting coming into a contest like this where you're up against 9 of the most elite athletes on the planet, and he's holding his own really, really well.
And that was good enough for a 5th place finish in that event. And now he's going to attempt 806 pounds. That's 365 kilos.
Easy lift.
That looks like a warm-up.
Great lift.
Good lift. I tell you, these guys got to have some great lifts because they got a lot to live up to after that women's deadlift competition.
They really do, don't they?
They've got a lot to live up to right now.
That is a tough act to follow for sure.
That was a fast lift there by Tom.
Very well. Strong lockout. That's good. The speed off the floor.
Mateusz Kierliszkowski is going to be back out on the floor for his 2nd of 3 attempts, 811 pounds, about 368 kilos.
Now he has to have this, and because he got to hope to get between some of these guys that are on the lighter end of the openers. He needs these points. He needs as many points as he can salvage here.
He's pulled around 880 on this bar before.
Yes, yeah.
He knows he's capable, but he's just lacking that confidence.
You got to trust that lat, and just lay into it because you can't have any hesitation. You can't. You got to trust your body. There can't be any hesitation.
See that scar on his tricep there.
Yeah.
He's got a few war wounds now. Still only 29 years old. He's been on the podium 3 times at the Arnold's before. I think the most important thing for Kierliszkowski this week is to get through this contest and build that confidence. If he can get through this, solid position, like we said, he's got 2 good events to come still. Could finish in a strong position overall. And then if he can build on that into future contests, we may see him back to his best.
Yeah, he needs not to beat himself up mentally over it, because he can do that sometimes. He gets really hard on himself, which we all can do.
We've all been there,
He's just got to be happy, have a show back, have a good performance, and and just move on healthy. That was a good lift.
Yeah, nice solid lift again.
Good lift.
8:11 on the board now for Mateusz Kierliszkowski, his 2nd of 3 lifts.
I just want to see that, you can see in his face at the moment.
There's a little worry on the pull, yeah.
He's not confident at all.
Like he's kind of waiting, anticipating that lat to feel something,
I mean, we even saw it on the Wheel of Pain. He put in a great distance, and he was disappointed because it wasn't as good as maybe he's done in the past. I know for myself, sometimes you've got to forget what you've done in the past and rebuild and just focus on, okay, that's where I was, now I'm coming back from injury, I've got to rebuild again from scratch and try and use the confidence. Okay, he pulled 800 pounds now, try and do a little bit more. And then next competition you come to, build on it again. He's still so talented on certain events that he puts himself in a position where he's dangerous. And if he can keep making those little improvements, build that confidence, we will see him back to his best. He's only 29 years old.
We're still waiting on who is going to be next. There's a chance that Mateusz does come out again for his third and final lift. If not him, it looks like it will be Tom Stoltman, who is going to go for 841. So Stoltman will be the next man out at 841 pounds.
And being Tom taking an 841 second, he's got to tell you, he's not feeling.
Yeah, I was going to say,
100%.
you know, like when we saw him last time on the Elephant Bar at the Rogue, he was in second place to the incredible JF Caron, who we all know is a fantastic deadlifter. You've had some great battles with him.
Yeah.
But Tom right now, he's kind of in the first pack of
I think
lifters.
Tom ended up about a 920 that day, right?
Yeah.
So we can say he's off that mark today if this is his second.
About 381 kilos, a little more than that on the bar.
And we've got some fantastic deadlifters to come.
Tom Stoltman comes in fifth place overall as he had back-to-back fifth place finishes. 91 feet 8 inches on event number 1, the Wheel of Pain. And then he was able to get one successful lift on the Austrian Oak. And now he steps up for his second attempt of event 3 of 5 here. 841 pounds, 381 kilos.
So one thing Jerry mentioned on his first pull was how the bar kind of pulled away from him. Let's see if he corrects that, improves the line.
He's got to get his shoulders right top dead center of that bar. There it goes. Oh, it's not
feeling it.
You know, I think in training he mentioned he was possibly having an issue with a hip that might be bothering today. After the log yesterday, log really put a lot of strain on that. So if he's feeling that pinch in that hip on that would, you know. But this could be really big for Mateusz.
Yes.
You know, if we get a couple
absolutely.
other guys that can go out early, these would be big points for him. He needs this.
Well, Kielerskowski is going to be the next man out. This will be his third and final lift. He is declared at 846 pounds. That is 384 kilos. So Mateusz opened at 776 and followed that up with a good lift at 811. Here are those two lifts.
That first lift was really fast.
Yeah, great lift.
This one he's kind of had to work a little harder for, but it's still smooth, pull through.
Now this one, Laws, he's really got to put it out of his mind. He's got to attack this one.
Yeah.
He has to have it.
That last one, he's still being a little bit ginger in terms of the amount of effort he's putting in. He's got to be able to block out those negative thoughts and commit.
We just saw Tom Stoltman lift. His day is going to be done as far as the deadlift is concerned. He's not going to make a third attempt. He will wind up with a score of 801 pounds as Kielerskowski will step up to 846.
Get that confidence back. More capable of making this lift.
I think it would mean a lot to him just to get through 3 lifts.
Yeah, oh, exactly, yeah. Be a great confidence builder. Moving on.
Final lift for Mateusz Kielerskowski, 846 pounds, 384 kilos for the Polish Titan.
Dig in. You got to have this.
Just as a fan, you kind of want to see him back to his best. We've got so many great athletes right now.
Mo.
You could see he just didn't commit as well, like you said.
Yeah, well, you see when you spend that much time down there waiting, you start second guess yourself and thinking, and it doesn't get much better from there.
Kielerskowski will wind up with a good lift of 811 pounds, and right now that's going to be good enough for 9th in the event because Tom Stoltman is already done, and his best lift was 801. Luke Stoltman will be our next man up at 851.
Looked like he was kind of pointing to his stomach pinch. I know, you know, different than years past, the way it used to be on the Elephant Bar, we weren't allowed briefs or anything. Now they're allowed briefs. You know, sometimes you get down in a position with a belt and briefs, you can get that pinch and get in a really uncomfortable position. They can actually do you sometimes more harm than good if you're not comfortable.
I was impressed with Luke's first lift. Looks strong, confident.
Luke Stolman made 8:01 on his opening attempt.
He's got such humongous legs, Luke.
Oh. Get a big push off the floor with those legs.
And now 851 pounds, 386 kilos for Luke Stolman.
He needs this. Redeem himself from yesterday. Help his mindset and his confidence.
Yep.
Then he was really down on himself after log yesterday.
It becomes a pride thing, you know. For yourself, you always had to do well at deadlift because people expect it of you. And we expect it of Luke on the log, but you have to block it out. These things happen, and now
good pull. Popped off the ground. Good lockout.
Good lift there by Luke Stolman.
Good.
851 pounds for Luke Stolman, 386 kilos on his second attempt. He likes it, and so does the crowd.
Just never know what's going to happen. In what world does Luke Stolman place higher on a deadlift than he does on a log lift?
I know.
He is through 2 of his 3 attempts.
And traditionally, it's him on log, and then Tom's behind him, and then they go to deadlift. Tom's ahead of him, and now they swapped.
I know. Do you think having that time off, like they just need a few more months to really see them back to their best?
I don't think we see them at their peak yet. It takes time to get back into big weights. It
really does.
Kevin Ferris is going to come out next. He's jumping up to 856. That's 388 kilos. This will be his second attempt. Ferris making his first appearance here at the Arnold Strongman Classic.
Be a big lift for Kevin.
Still 5 lifters that haven't appeared yet.
They've seen their openers yet.
So 856 for Ferris, 388 kilos. This is his second lift.
Come on, Kevin, work.
Oh, easy.
Great lift.
Strong lockout. He'll gain speed up past his knees.
Nice technique there as well.
That will count for Kevin Ferris. He has 1 lift remaining. Tom Evans is going to be the next man out. We'll keep 856 on the bar. Take another look at Ferris at 856 pounds.
Very good. As we're seeing right now, with 5 guys that still haven't went logs, like you were talking earlier about the openers. Here's where the opener is really crucial, and you have to know in what range of deadlifters you're going to be with, because if you wanted to do a really safe light opener, you go early, and then you got all these guys going between you that are going to follow themselves. You got a lot of gap before your second, so that's another, really being smart on your opener and kind of putting yourself up with those top lifters. So once you get going, you can just kind of get going.
Yeah.
Here comes Tom Evans at 856 pounds. His opening lift was at 806, so a 50-pound jump here.
Strong 806.
Very strong, yeah, really nice opener by Tom. 50 pounds is kind of like what you'd expect in terms of the jump.
Way the 806 looked, I would expect a 50-pound jump. And then this one would tell if he's got another 25-pound jump in him.
388 kilos on the bar for Evans. And that will count.
Lift. Slowed down a little bit from the opener, but still strong lift.
Still good power off the floor.
Yeah.
Well, Rob Kearney is going to be making his first trip out onto the floor. And he will be attempting 881 pounds, as you see Tom Evans at 856.
Interesting thing with Rob Kearney, I always love watching Rob. He was incredible at the squat last year. He's kind of developed a technique that you kind of class as a hitch.
Yeah.
He does it on purpose.
Yeah,
it's done, you know, most people will hitch when it's heavy because they're forced to hitch.
Yeah.
Whereas he does it in training, it's just a way that works for him.
He's really just built it in, you know, where he kind of stops and does that ramp, you know, to push his quads through. And
it actually keeps a lot more stress on the quads rather than the hamstrings and glutes.
Well, we're waiting to see what Tom Evans wants to do, because he may want to go out and make his final attempt, because remember, the weight cannot go back down, and Kearney is going to come out and lift 881.
Yeah, the way that looked, he might want to take something a little less than the 881.
There's a discussion happening right now between Evans' coach and the officials to try to figure out if Tom is going to go back out and make another attempt before we go up to 881.
I think looking at it, I'd be looking at 15 to 25 pound jump.
Yeah, so.
Let's take another look at your overall standings coming into the day. 2 events yesterday. We have 3 today. And if your name is Mitchell, you had a very good day 1. Trey Mitchell Hooper.
Unbelievable yesterday. He's kind of reminding me more and more of Zydrunas Zaviskas. He kind of floats around now as well, but he's just got that aura and self-confidence. His log lifting yesterday, unbelievable.
And Pavlo Nakanishi there in 4th place is a man we're going to want to keep an eye on as we move through this event. He has yet to lift. So Rob Kearney will be the next man out, but it's likely we will see Evans taking the floor again very soon. The 881 will be the opening lift for Kearney, almost 400 kilos.
I think the real battle on this deadlift is going to be between Trey, Mitch Hooper, and Bobby Thompson. Those 3 all very, very close in what they're capable. I think most people would see Pavlo Nakanishi as the favorite for this event.
Yeah, I would probably see Pablo out ahead of those guys. But day 2, anything can happen. You know, I mean, Some guys might be hurting, and then like the women, we saw exceptional performances with Andrea and Victoria. You know, hit weights that you wouldn't have thought of going into it. You know, even if it was a start yesterday.
Yeah,
you know, deadlift.
Yeah, just unbelievable lifting.
Rob Kearney, 7th place overall. We're coming off a 4th place finish in the Austrian Oak last night. Was able to get 2 successful reps on that implement, and now opening up at 881 pounds.
400 kilos as an opener.
Here's that technique you're talking about, Laws.
And it just
kind of stops on the quads and pushes through.
But it works for him.
Yeah, he's really just built it in.
It's not allowed in powerlifting, but in strongman, it's about moving the weight from A to B. And Rob has developed it from his coach, actually, Derek Poundstone, former winner of the Arnold Classic, someone else that used the same type of technique.
What advantage does that give a guy like Rob?
Rob is, the reason he does it, he's weaker in the glutes and hamstrings. So normally you teach someone to hinge through the hips on a deadlift. What Rob does is push the knees forwards and use the quads to kind of lock that weight out.
Yeah, if you don't have as strong a lockout as some others, it kind of helps, helps that lockout by stopping there, and then he can
kind of
push that quad through.
But it's dangerous as well, having that much weight just kind of crushing down on your legs. It's not a comfortable position to be in.
But Trey Mitchell
on the quad tendons
will be up next. He's also going to go after 881. This is his first attempt. He is your overall leader. After day number 1, he was 2nd in the Wheel of Pain and 1st in the Austrian Oak.
I love watching Trey. Just goes about his business. He's such a strong man and just improving all the time.
He's constantly getting better, especially the last couple of years. He's really excelled.
He has to be a threat in any contest now.
He's really coming to his own.
locks himself onto the bar.
881 for Trey Mitchell.
A good solid lift there.
A little more restrained than I would have expected, but
I'd agree with you there. But we did see that on the women's side with a couple of lifters.
Those openers, and you know, who knows? The last time, you know, his timed his opener or his last attempt in the back. You know, sometimes you miss the timing. You know, thinking that you're pacing the competition and then it slows down. So maybe you had a little more downtime than he needed. So he's a little cold. You always can't judge that opener.
.400 kilos for Trey Mitchell, 881 pounds. And now Luke Stoltman is going to come out for his third and final lift at 886 pounds.
This will be a huge lift for Luke. I think if he can get this, he's going to be over the moon with his start to day 2.
Yeah, this will be really big for Luke.
About 402 kilos.
Still looking for redemption from that log.
We've had 7 men make at least one attempt so far. Stoltman was good at 801 and then followed that up with a good lift at 851 pounds.
Yeah, he's looked really strong so far.
Yep.
That last one slowed down a little bit in the lockout, but he still was able to push it through really strong.
He's got those powerful legs. So if he can get this bar over those knees, he's got a chance.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be ugly regardless. It won't be a smooth, perfect looking lift, but
yeah, I know. After looking at the last one, way to slow down, I think there's gonna be a fight.
he needs to really drive hard. And like ideally on this type of lift where you get that kind of whip of the bar, you want to be a bit smoother off the floor. But Luke really has no option. He's got to use his strength, which is that leg power, get that bar over the knees, and he's got the thickness and the musculature and the size in the core to just kind of stabilize, potentially pull this, but it's important to get it over those knees. Come on, get it over. Just couldn't quite get it high enough. Good effort though.
Yeah, pulled him forward just enough when he popped off the floor, like you were saying, Lodge. You really needed to push it off the ground. That yank with that whip will just pull you forward, pull the shoulders forward, and it's really hard to lock out after that.
Unfortunately, that's something that you're just going to have to put a lot of work into the gym in.
And you'll be able to see what you're talking about here.
Yep.
As we take a couple looks at this.
Yeah, it just pops him forward enough.
1 inch more and he maybe could have got that.
Yeah. Yeah, once those hips rock up and he kind of rocks you in the front part of your foot,
But Luke will wind up with a final lift of 851 pounds. Now Kevin Ferris is set for his final attempt at 901.
this will be a huge lift for Kevin.
408 kilos, a little more than 408.
I think this must be PB territory for Kevin, surely.
It's got to be close. And at one of our, I think our lightest competitor, I think him and Rob are pretty close.
Yeah.
And for just getting the call up a week and a half ago.
Oh, this will definitely give him confidence for the year ahead.
Yeah.
Kevin's best finish was an 8th in the Wheel of Pain. He pushed it 76 feet 11 inches yesterday.
Still 3 athletes that haven't stepped foot on the platform.
£901 pounds, 408 kilos for Kevin Ferris. This is his third and final attempt.
Oh, Kevin, come on.
Keep pulling.
Keep pulling. Come on, Kevin.
Come on.
Wow, look at this effort.
Out.
Get those hips through.
There you go.
Great fight for Kevin Ferris, and that will count.
Wow.
What a fight.
901 pounds, 408 kilos, and he is fired up.
That is
Massive
a
lift for him.
huge lift for Kevin.
What a battle from Kevin Ferris. Able to gut his way through that lift.
Look at this. Maintained form off the floor. He
Yeah.
started to lose it once he was over the knees, but once it's over the knees, you have that ability to hitch, push the knees through.
Kept inching it up, never quit.
Gave absolutely everything to finish that one off.
I'm sure both of you have been in this position before. When you get there and it starts to become a fight like that, what are you thinking?
It's brutal. I mean, it's taking everything you have to just keep inching that bar up, and everything's taxed. It's pulling you. Feels like it's pulling your shoulders off. You know, your glutes, your hamstrings, everything's screaming.
Kevin Ferris at 9:01 for his third and final attempt. And what a way to finish the Elephant Bar Deadlift for him. And now Tom Evans will be attempting the same weight, 901 pounds, 408 kilos.
I think this is a big ask, if I'm totally honest, for Tom. Watching his second attempt, this is a big jump.
Yeah. The second one slowed down quite a bit from the.
Tom opened at 8:06.
And that 8:06 was lovely, really fast, really explosive.
And then he made a 50-pound jump to 8:56 here.
This one really slowed down. Had to kind of push quads, push it through.
The one thing I noticed on that, he's still strong off the floor,
Yep.
but it's the lockout that really slowed down.
Yep. But Kevin just proved it can be done
Kevin was unbelievable there.
if he can get it above the knees and just don't give up.
I think Tom's in that position as well where there is no pressure on him. He can take a risk and go for something bigger. No one's expecting him to come here and win the Arnold's first time.
No,
He's got to soak up the atmosphere, learn from the experience, and yeah, why not go for something big on this third lift?
He's not really worried about the overall at this point, you know, because he's not in contention for a top 5 or anything, so he can just go, and I don't know, maybe this is a PR for him.
Oh, I guarantee this is a PR. This is going to be a huge lift. 901 pounds. I mean, we're talking 410 kilos, 901 pounds. There was a time this would have been winning any international show.
This was elite.
9:01 for
strong
Evans, and
knees.
he's going to hitch this thing up too.
Oh, and that's the
Not
worst
going to
feeling
be able
right
to get there.
Problem there where he kind of got it over the knees. His shoulders were so rounded forward. The back then is not in a strong position to maintain that brace and lock out.
Strong off the floor.
Very strong off the floor.
If you work on his lockouts, he's got a good deadlift there.
Really impressed with him as well, you know, watching him all through last year, the way he's conducting himself backstage.
Yeah.
You can see he's learning, he's kind of soaking it all up, and I think he's got a big future ahead of him.
Oh, he dominated every amateur show last year he was in.
Well, Mitch Hooper is going to be the next man up. This will be his first attempt, and he is going to open at 9:06. And he also had a fantastic day number 1. He finished third in the Wheel of Pain. He pushed it 94 feet. And then he was second in the Austrian Oak, getting 3 good lifts. And as you said, this is just a guy who's annoyingly good at anything.
I played Jenga with him, and we had the most epic game, and I lost. It came down to the last possible move. He is annoyingly good at everything, but a supreme athlete. No big weaknesses in his game, and just improving all the time. This is still technically his rookie year.
Great result for him yesterday to put himself in second place overall. He's only 2.5 points back of Trey Mitchell coming into the day for the top spot. Now,
And this is a
Mitchell
real
already
battle
has one
between
lift under his belt.
These two athletes, I think, on this one. whoever comes out on top after the deadlift is going to be in a really nice position. It's potentially more important for Trey that he beats Mitch Hooper on the deadlift, because there is still that one possible weak event based off what he did last year in another contest.
These are your standings coming into the day. Trey Mitchell has the lead after that first and second place finish for a total of 19 points. Mitch Hooper 2.5 back of him. Mateusz Kieliszkowski, who is all done here. So he's going to drop out of that third place spot, and we have yet to see Pavlo Nakonechny and Bobby Thompson lift.
So Mateusz and Tom both being bottom of the table, they're going to drop down. Pavlo Nakonechny, we know, is a monstrous deadlifter. Bobby Thompson still yet to lift. And now Mitch Hooper approaching the bar for the first time, 906 pounds.
No
That's a
problem
great
for
lift
Mitch
there.
Hooper.
Cool.
He's been looking stronger than ever in training. And he's going to be very pleased with that opener.
906 puts him as your current leader. He has 2 lifts remaining.
And now he's really kind of like forcing Trey to take something big. Bobby Thompson could be a real question mark on this event. He could cause both these athletes problems, especially if he gets between them.
Yeah.
Jerry, you found yourself in this position, at the deadlift, a guy who's contending for a lead. Who is the guy that you kind of kept your eyes on? You'd be like, I got to watch him and just stay close to that guy.
It was always Shaw, Hofthor, JF Carone. We were always usually the top lifters here. The year that Eddie was here, it was always watching back and forth. What those guys were going next, what their first attempt was. Watching warm up, see how our guys look.
What was the standard opener for you? When you weren't injured.
Rob Kearney up next at 926, and he was successful at 881 on his opening lift.
Interesting looking there. Rob's coach with him, Derek Poundstone, former winner of the Arnold Strongman Classic.
But we can get back to that. What was your sort of ideal opener?
A few years I opened around 921, and then the one year I came in and I opened at 960.
Okay.
That's just Jerry flexing over here. Like Jerry Pritchett, one of the best ever at the deadlift in the strongman.
The 926 will be the second attempt here for Rob Kearney. That's 420 kilos.
And this will equal his best lift ever on this bar.
Look for that hitch here.
Oh, that's definitely happening.
Oh yeah. As soon as it comes above the knees, you'll see him rock back. That quad push.
You get it over? Yes, he does. And you know what? He'll pull it from here. He's just so good.
There it
is.
is.
Over the knees.
926 is good for Rob Kearney, and he has 1 lift remaining.
It's looking strong. Rob has kind of really peaked well for this contest. Struggled with injuries, illnesses over the last few years, but he's coming back into great form now.
I was thinking over the knees, this one looks smoother than the opener.
Yeah. He even relaxes the arms in that position, which is just you wouldn't teach someone to deadlift like this. But it works effectively for Rob.
926 just sitting there on the quads.
You can see the arms relax, then he locks again and he pulls. It's like you're having a rest halfway through the lift.
Yeah.
But you've got 926 pounds crushing
Not
down
much
on
of a
your
rest.
legs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to rest in that position, but
Pavlo Nakonechny is going to be the next man out. This will be his first attempt, and he is increasing the weight to 931 pounds, so 422 kilos now
this is
on
someone
the bar.
I've really enjoyed watching deadlift over the last couple of years. The widest back you've ever seen. Really, really good technical lifter when it comes to the deadlift. We talk about his technique on other lifts where he can improve on, but his technique on deadlifting is very, very good.
Now, Pavlo Nakonechny coming in 4th place overall, 3 points back of Kieliszkowski for 3rd, and he's going to be able to erase that here in one event. Because Kielishkowski is already done. He's going to take 9th place as Kielishkowski. So Nakonechny looking to put himself inside the top 3 here. He had a 4th place finish in the Wheel of Pain and a 5th in the Austrian Oak. And now opening up at 931 pounds.
He gets strapped in first, then pull his feet into position. It's a big opener. He's going to make a statement here if he makes this look like cake.
931 pounds, 422 kilos. This is the first attempt for Pavlo Nakonechny.
Moves the feet into position. He's going to lock those arms, lock those lats. Whoa!
Ooh.
And now
Ramped up a little there.
Nakonechny
That's
missing his opening lift.
That is a shock right there.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he didn't commit to the lift.
Yeah.
Kind of just tried to pull it really smoothly, like it was a warm-up lift or something.
Yeah, I was waiting on his setup for like kind of one final like really pull in tight, and then all of a sudden he kind of started pulling, and
there was no drive through the floor like that push.
yeah, I
that you
never
talked about
really
earlier.
saw him really tense up to pull.
I don't know if it's just cramp or he's maybe felt like a pull in the hamstring or something.
Pulled that leg up right away. You know, that bar can do it because it shakes so much, and you can't, it's hard to see all of it, you know, but it don't take much to pop you to your toes, and you know, the hamstring's loaded.
Yeah.
You know, and then on already fatigued hamstrings from yesterday on the log, it doesn't take much to strain a hamstring.
No. Long days, trying to stay hydrated, especially when you're, he's a huge man.
Yeah, you get that
so much
mass.
muscle.
Bobby Thompson will be the final man to make his first attempt, and he is going to open at 9:36. But getting back to Pavlo, and assuming he's going to make another lift, it's probably going to come pretty quickly here.
Yeah, that's not what Pavlo wanted. You know, we were talking about him potentially contending for that 3rd place spot.
Well, Bobby did not get off to the best start yesterday. He finished last in the Wheel of Pain, only pushed at 59 feet 5 inches, but got back on track in the Austrian Oak. 3 good lifts, should have been 4, as he was perilously close to blocking that 4th one out.
Physically, he did 4, so his body right now is feeling 4.
But he got credit for 3.
He loves the static power events.
He's a good deadlifter.
Deadlift's improving all the time.
936 pounds, more than 424 kilos on the bar for Bobby Thompson.
He must be feeling confident with how the way the warm-ups have gone to be opening this heavy.
Yeah.
Half the field is already finished. So we have 5 men who have at least 1 lift remaining, and we have 4 who have 2. Here are your overall standings once again coming into the day. So Pavlo Nakonechny, who was looking to get himself inside the top 3, we'll have to see if he's able to get a good lift on the board, because if you 0 this year, you do not get any points.
Yeah, if he doesn't come back and get a lift, he is in big trouble.
Yeah.
And potentially, it's great news for Kielishkowski.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure Mateus won't be upset about it.
no. And also really big news for Bobby Thompson. He could pull himself back into 3rd place contention if he can come in and lift this opener here.
Yeah.
Even this opening weight now is becoming extremely important, because if Bobby gets this and Pavlo comes back and fails to get a lift, Bobby has pulled himself right back into this contest.
Yeah. And like a guy like Trey, we haven't seen back in a while, he's making a big jump, So you start getting up in a range, you start making too big of a jump, a guy's opener or second could win this right now. We saw that at the Invitational with JF.
Yeah.
JF won it on his second.
Yeah, that was a strange one.
I think his opener. He won it.
Right now, the heaviest lift that we have seen belongs to Rob Kearney at 926 pounds.
Rob's in that position where he could pull himself right back into this contest as well.
Here comes Bobby Thompson for his first of 3 attempts, 936 pounds on the bar, a little more than 424 kilos.
Let's see what kind of shape Bobby Thompson is in on the deadlift. Opening lift, 936 pounds, and that is
solid.
strong.
Solid.
He's happy with that.
Take a bow, Bobby Thompson, because you're the new leader at 936, and that was his opening attempt.
Yeah, when 936 moves like that as an opener, you're feeling
Game
confident.
on. Game on.
Pavlo Nakonechny is going to come back out and attempt 936, so 5 pounds heavier than what he did in his opener. So we take one more look at Bobby Thompson.
Look how powerful that was. So strong off the floor, maintained that positioning, locked out really strong. Great opening lift there for Bobby Thompson. Made sure the shoulders were pulled back, knees locked through solidly.
Solid lift. Not a hiccup in it.
Here comes Pavlo, who was looking at that right leg after his last attempt, and he has not had a lot of time to recover.
Still kind of pulling on that leg.
And this is a big lift for him.
It's huge. It's kind of make or break right now.
We saw a major shock on the log yesterday. Could we see another major shock today on the deadlift? The favorite for the deadlift on paper coming into this contest.
I say at this point, this is going to be tough. If he did, kind of get a little tweak or strain in that hamstring to come back even 5 pounds heavier.
You can be the best deadlift in the world. If that hamstring isn't working properly,
you're not going to pull this on one leg.
The 936 for Pavlo.
Well, we'll see here.
You can see he's favoring the one leg.
Does not have it.
You could see straight away how he shifted across there, trying to pull through one leg. It's just not happening today for him. That is devastating news for Pavlo. Came in as the heavy favorite for the deadlift. He's going to end up with 0 points there.
Yeah, he was, the clear favorite to win it based on, his history in deadlift.
He was so good at the Rogue Invitational. We've seen him, lift incredible numbers all year last year.
But Pavlo Nakonechny, not what we expected to see. This was his first attempt at 931, and you can already see him going over. And then the second here at 936.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you tell that one hurt.
You've been in this situation. You pulled your hamstring, torn your hamstring deadlifting on this bar. It's such a disappointing position to be in because you train so hard for these shows.
The first year that big money on the 500 kilos, I came in feeling really strong. I believe I opened up at like 981, completely smoked it, and I went straight after 1031 because I was headed for the 500. The bar bobbled coming up off the floor and pulled me forward, popped the hamstring, and then it's done.
I remember watching it.
It's all over.
Well, Pavlo is not going to make a third attempt.
That's the difference on that bar. It's different than a regular deadlift bar. And if you're not used to it, it will get you. This
is the second attempt for Trey Mitchell now as he goes up to 941 pounds.
He has to have this because he needs these points.
This is a big jump as well on his opener.
It's a huge jump.
Almost 427 kilos for your overall leader coming into the day.
Let's go, Trey. You got to go after it. You got to have this.
This is an important one for Trey. Gets this, it is game on.
He is one of 4 men remaining here.
He gets this, he really puts pressure on Hooper.
Absolutely.
Come on, Trey. Drop those hips. Push that off the floor. Come on.
Wide stance, uses that leg power. Driving hard, he's pulling through smoothly. Can he lock it out? Got to work hard. He's got to pull those hips through.
There you go.
Trey Mitchell.
And he gets it.
Gets there.
Signal.
Huge.
big fight for Big Tex, and that is a big weight. 941 goes up for Trey Mitchell.
That took a lot out of him, but he finished it.
That is a champion performance right there. He knew how important that was.
He had to have it.
He had to give everything. I don't see him coming back lifting more.
No, I think that's it.
That was important. It's got him big points and put a lot of pressure now on Mitchell Hooper.
Yeah.
And Mitch knows it with the smile on his face there.
And what a great fight. As you mentioned, the champion's performance here, just gutting through this thing.
He gave everything.
That look right there, like, I cannot fail this. This cannot be a failure. I have to get this.
Yeah.
He knew it.
Failure was not an option, and he knew it.
He still has one attempt remaining.
I don't think there's another one there. I think he'd be smart just to call it and save it for the other two events. As rough as that one was.
Well, Mitch Hooper will be the next man out. He's going to make a 5-pound jump to 946 pounds. It's 429 kilos. This is his second attempt.
So this is really smart by Mitch, not forcing too much. He just knows how important it is to him if he can beat Trey Mitchell on the deadlift. This is an event there on paper, very close to each other.
Yeah.
And the closer he can get to Trey Mitchell going into the frame carry, he knows he's having the advantage.
This was Hooper's first attempt at 906.
He's still got that third attempt where he can push more, but this second attempt now, it's all about making sure he gets ahead of Trey Mitchell. It's always confusing when there's two Mitchells.
Yeah, three Mitchells.
Well, Trey Mitchell came in with 19 points. Mitch Hooper came in with 16 and a half.
So Mitch looked good on his opener. Let's see how he copes with 9:46.
This for the lead. And that is no problem for Mitch Hooper.
Well, very good lift there.
Good lift
by Hooper.
Rob Kearney, Trey Mitchell, and Mitch Hooper all have one attempt remaining. Bobby Thompson has two. Those are your four men still alive right now.
Phenomenal on that first lift.
We saw Mitch Hooper at 906, and this looked about the same at 946.
Now what I'd be doing if I was competing, I'm not sure if Jerry would agree, I'd be looking at what Rob and Bobby do, because if Mitch can get above those two and have them between Trey, he's going to be in a very good position.
Yeah, that could definitely help him overall as he get into that frame later today.
It's certainly worth taking the risk to try and beat Rob, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, because at this point, he'd only be at 1 point on Trey.
Yeah.
He really wants to get as many points as he can between him and Trey.
Well, one more look again at the overall standings coming into the event, and it was Trey Mitchell who finished first and second in the opening two events to get 19 out of a possible 20 points. Mitch Hooper right now, 16 and a half, but he is in position to make up that deficit here, depending on what both, as you guys mentioned, Rob Kearney, who comes in seventh, and Bobby
Third,
Thompson
fourth,
in
and
sixth.
fifth place have all suffered on this event. So Mitch Hooper and Trey Mitchell have really stretched out that lead. It's good news for the likes of Rob Kearney and Bobby Thompson. They've pulled themselves back into that third place battle now.
Yeah.
But Mitch Hooper and Trey Mitchell, they're going to be extremely hard to catch after this deadlift.
There is that 9.5 foot long elephant bar.
Such a gorgeous looking piece of kit.
And it's going to be Rob Kearney who will be up next for his final attempt at 961 pounds. That's almost 436 kilos. He opened at 881 and then followed that up with a good lift at 926.
How do you feel about the athletes being allowed to use the briefs this year?
Personally, I don't like it, because they're going after records that were done without briefs.
Yeah.
So to me, it ought to be a different set of records, honestly.
I agree.
Third and final attempt now for Rob Kearney at 961 pounds.
So Rob has looked so good so far. We know what technique he's going to use. The question is, does he have the power to get that bar over those knees?
Looking for a top four finish in this event.
It was seemed like the last two, if it's over the knees, it's going to go up.
crowd are responding. They want to see this lift go up. Rob Kearney really showing that he belongs here today.
Final attempt for Rob Kearney.
Come on, Rob.
Oh, get it there.
Come on, Rob.
Oh, she's a little bit higher.
Just an inch too low at the moment. There we go. That's better.
And he will get there. Rob Kearney at 961.
Rob Kearney with the good lift. Rob inspires so many people for so many different reasons.
That was a great lift.
He's just
Strong.
a battler, a warrior, someone that's just progressed over the years. His first strongman competition he did terrible in, and he slowly just crawled his way up, got better each year, and it's so good to see him back now after a number of injuries, competing at his best. That's a huge PB there on this bar.
And he's like a Kevin Ferris who started out as a middleweight competitor.
Yeah.
Has moved up to heavy, you know.
It wasn't quite where he needed to be, pushed those knees forward even more.
He needed that little extra inch
There
up
we
there.
go, then he was set where he needed to.
Then he could kind of finish that ramp.
Strong lift.
Good fight.
961 pounds for Rob Kearney, looking for his second straight top 4 finish in an event. And as we mentioned, he and Bobby Thompson very much alive right now for a spot on the podium.
Yeah, this competition has kind of really opened up now.
Bobby Thompson is back out for his second attempt. 966 pounds, 438 kilos. He opened at 936.
Yeah, second attempt. Massive lift now. So his first lift was extremely good. Let's see how this moves. It's going up, he's locking out strong.
And that is good for Bobby Thompson, 966 to put himself in the lead.
Worked hard for it, but he kept pulling nice and smoothly all the way through. Completely different styles to the likes of Rob Kearney that we just watched, but both effective at the end of the day.
And we're down to 3 men left. Trey Mitchell, Mitch Hooper, and Bobby Thompson all have 1 lift remaining.
I'm interested to see what Trey decides to go for on his third attempt.
Here's Bobby Thompson at 966.
Solid pull. Good hips through at the top. Good lockout.
Looks like there's a little bit more there. It's getting hard, but he's got a few more pounds in him still.
Still a good lockout.
Who is coming out next?
Trey Mitchell is going to be next at 976, and then after that, it's going to be Mitch Hooper at 981. So Bobby Thompson will know exactly what he needs to win this event.
Be a big ask after that last one.
So let's take a look at Trey's first 2 attempts.
Opened at 881 and then followed that up at 941, and that was a fight at 941, and we'll see that again here.
That second lift that we'll see in a second was a championship winning performance lift. I can't see him coming and getting this lift after that effort that was put in to lift number 2. Look at this. Look at the strain on the face.
Took so much out of him.
You can see how much that bar whips.
And he's making a 35-pound jump.
And everything was screaming after that lift.
443 kilos about.
This will be amazing if he pulls this.
We will be cheering him on.
Yeah. Which I'd love to see him pull it. He needs it.
Our current leader.
And he is one of those guys that he could come out and surprise you, you know. And
he does it all the time.
He did a log yesterday.
All the time. You know, the Rogue Invitational, he was unbelievable. Shore Classic last year, unbelievable. He's just got that ability to switch it on competition day.
He just knows, well, I just need a little more today, and he'll turn it up. You know, he's just got that ability.
here comes Trey Mitchell for his final attempt, a 35-pound jump from his last lift, 976 pounds, almost 443
I was kind of watching the walk-up,
kilos.
I was
That's
thinking,
not.
I'm not sure this is going.
I looked like he was walking up like a kid who gets called to the front of the class. Just not a lot of urgency
it was a
there.
completely different walk to his approach to the second lift.
Yeah, that was a middle game.
And I think he knows there's still 2 events to go.
He's being smart, not taking a chance of hurting anything.
And also, he's been smart because he's pushed Mitch Hooper to try and do maybe more than Mitch is capable of.
Exactly, he's raised the bar now.
Well, Trey's last good attempt was at 941. Mitch is ahead of him if he fails this next lift at 946.
Yeah.
But he's forced Mitch to go heavier. Mitch could have gone just ahead of Rob if he knew that Trey was going to do that.
Yeah.
His tactics being played here. So he's making Mitch Hooper pull more than he needs to get that extra point.
Now, 2 men remain. It's Mitch Hooper and Bobby Thompson. And Hooper's going to go after 981 pounds. That's almost 445 kilos. And once again, your overall standings coming into the day. 5 total events. This is event number 3. We had 2 yesterday. And it was Trey Mitchell who had a great day 1 for the first and the second to give him 19 points, and then Mitch Hooper comes in with 16 and a half. So we'll take another look at the first 2 lifts for Mitch Hooper here. He opened at 906 and followed that up at 946.
So easy.
That was
really good as well.
946.
Yeah. I mean, I think Trey's used good tactics to try and make Mitch push.
Yeah.
But I still think Mitch can pull this.
Here comes Mitch Hooper. 3rd and final attempt.
Here's where the crowd can help you.
Yes. He's responding to the crowd. He wants them making the noise. I don't think we can class Mitch as like the shy and retiring type. He enjoys the crowd cheering him on.
He had a lot of fun with the fans at the Rogue Invitational. He was having a blast down there.
Feed off that energy.
We will see if it will pay off for Mitch Hooper at 981 pounds, 445 kilos to put himself in the lead.
Go on, Mitch. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling.
And he has it. 981 for Mitch Hooper.
And he maintained his form there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were expecting him to have to hitch. He kept pulling through smoothly.
Straight through.
Mitch Hooper with a massive lift. In terms of the whole competition, that is a massive lift. He's got an extra point on his biggest rival.
Yep.
Closing that gap in the overall score. We only have 1 lifter left to go.
Well, Bobby Thompson will be the last man out as you take one more look at Mitch Hooper's effort at 981.
Very good lift there.
Great lift. No hitch, straight through lockout.
And no doubt, Bobby Thompson will try to win the event as Mitch Hooper is locked up at least a 2nd place finish. Thompson going up to 986 pounds. That's 447 kilos.
And this will mean a lot to Bobby if he can take the event win on this one. He was so disappointed with only the 3 reps on the log yesterday. He wanted the 4.
Yeah, it's big for Bobby, get an event win. I know, like at the Shaw Classic, you know, he had a bit of a strain in the leg. He didn't get the deadlift he wanted. He was a little disappointed. This will be a good redemption back.
Thompson dead last in the wheel of pain, but then those 3 good lifts on the Austrian Oak got him into 2nd place in that event, and now
Bobby looking to get the response.
looking for the event
well.
win. 986 pounds.
Dig in, Bobby.
For the American Nightmare.
Bobby Thompson sets himself up
For the win.
Big pull, strong off the ground.
Come on, Bobby,
Finish
pull.
it, Bobby. Finish it.
He needs to keep working. Can he lock out?
Hip through, hip through. Good.
Give the win to Bobby Thompson.
He gets the lift.
986.
Huge lift there for Bobby Thompson.
What a battle for Bobby Thompson as he is on a tear, a second place last night, and now a first place finish in the Elephant Bar Deadlift. Let's take another look at Bobby Thompson's lift for the victory.
He had to work hard.
Stay with it.
You can see that bar went down at one stage. He kept fighting hard.
Well, the bar's crowned and it's flexing on you. Keep pulling him forward. But you got to just stay back on your heels and keep just trying to force those hips through.
Look how hard he's working there. That bar slips down at one stage. Manages to catch it. And
down again.
Resorts into the Rob Kearney type hitch at the end. A very solid lockout to finish off.
Yeah, solid lockout.
Bobby Thompson with the event win, and he is with Kiki Dixon.
Congratulations on your event win. It looked like you were fighting with that barbell there at the last rep. Talk me through that.
That was definitely a fight. That's actually, it's a 50-pound PR, not in a suit. So it was a fight, but obviously I didn't go to an Ivy League school because I'm here doing this. So I'm too stupid to quit, and it paid off.
The Arnold Strongman Classic is one of the biggest events in the world. What's your favorite part about being at this event?
You know, this event's very special to me. I came here for the first time I was 15, came when I was 16. This said I wasn't coming back till I was on stage. This is my fourth time on an Arnold stage, so this is home.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on that PR and winning your event.
Thank you very much.
Bobby Thompson, his second straight finish inside the top two, 986 pounds to best Mitch Hooper by 5. Rob Kearney gets in between Mitch and Trey Mitchell, so that's big for Mitchell Hooper. And then Kevin Ferris rounding out the top 5 with a 901-pound lift. But there's Pablo Nakonechny. He zeros. And Mateusz Kiloskowski is going to fall out of the top 3. 2 events remaining. It's going to be a blast to watch this thing play out now over the rest of the day here.
The battle now for third place is going to be exceptional, but still that battle for 1 and 2. They've kind of stretched away from the chasing pack there, but that was big for Mitch Hooper. He's gained 2 points on Trey. 2 events to go. The next event is the lottery. We don't know what's going to happen with this next one. There's all to still fight for.
What impressed you the most about what you just saw?
Those last 2 deadlifts. I mean, to finish the way they did on day 2, beat up and tired, and still pull some really great deadlifts. It was really impressive. Some big surprises in there. With Pablo, hopefully, the hamstring's not too bad going into the next 2 events. He can recover, but impressive performances.
Here are your overall standings now with just 2 events remaining as we are more than halfway through the 2023 Arnold Strongman Classic. And it is Trey Mitchell who's seen his lead get shaved to now a half point over Mitch Hooper. Bobby Thompson is now in 3rd place. He's 2 points up on Kiloskowski, who is in 4th. And Rob Kearney now inside the top 5. 2 events remain here. We are going to step aside, but the Rogue Iron Game with Lawrence Smith and Dr. Bill Crawford is coming up next. Stay with us, everybody, as our coverage continues here from Columbus, Ohio.